Here are my guest receipts. Think about the last time that you met someone for the first time. It could have been a date, a new friend, coworker, or even a classmate. Regardless of who it was, you started to form opinions on this person before this person even got a chance to speak to you. And I'm sure that they were doing the same to you. It's not that you were doing it automatically. You didn't step back and say, let me analyze this person and make an opinion on them. It's something that you realize you had after the fact. It's something that you did automatically. It's not a character flaw. Today, I want to talk about the psychology behind first impressions, specifically how they form so fast and what's actually driving those. My thesis is this: first impressions form in a matter of seconds, and they're based on a series of factors, mainly these three: appearance, communication style, and body language. Let's take those one at a time. The first thing that people notice is how you look. Not in a shallow way, it's more instinctive. Researchers Janine Willis and Alexander Todorov published in a study in Psychological Science that people form a idea on someone's trustworthiness in 100 milliseconds. Now to put that in perspective, 1/10 of a second is faster than it takes to snap. Usually faster than it even takes you to blink. It's the kind of time frame where your brain isn't really thinking about it, it's more so reacting. Here's the part that really gets me. Giving people more time to look at someone doesn't really change that first opinion that you actually make. The researcher found that even when people were allowed to look harder and think harder about someone, they often found that their conclusions pretty much stayed the exact same. The initial read stuck. Once your brain makes a snap call, it tends to lock onto that and look for reasons to explain that instead of changing that after the fact. What that means is your brain is constantly scanning for visual cues, your expression, how you're dressed, and whether you look approachable. It's not about being attractive, it's more about what signals you're sending without even realizing it. For example, take a look at these two people. The takeaway is that it's not about being dressed up all the time. It's more so that your appearance is communicating something, whether you intend for it to do so or not. Once appearance gets you in the door, body language takes over. This one's super interesting. Psychologists Nalini Ambati and Robert Rosenthal did a series of studies that they call thin slicing. What thin slicing actually is the idea that we can read a person accurately from extremely short observation of that person. In one study, people would watch a silent 10-second clip of a teacher and were asked to give their opinion on that teacher. What the study actually found was the main opinion that this class was able to form on this person in comparison to students who actually took that teacher was almost identical. People who took this teacher over a long period of time had the same exact thought about this teacher that people who only saw a 10-second clip of them without speaking were able to form, purely off body language. Think about what people are actually picking up in those 10 seconds. Are you standing tall? Are you slouched over? Do you seem closed off? Or are you more so open and confident? That's the power of body language. Eye contact, posture, and how you use your hands all shine through. The key point is that your body is always talking. The question is whether you're aware of what it's saying. The third piece is actually how you communicate. Your tone, your word choice, and how well you listen. A study by researchers at Princeton found that people make judgments about a speaker's competence based more so on what they're saying, but also how you actually say that. Picture this. Two people in an interview ask the exact same question. One person delivers it clearly, straightforward, and confident. The other person murmurs through their speech. They hesitate on what they say, and they don't sound like they actually believe in what they say. Who do you trust more in that situation? Things like pacing, clarity, and whether someone sounds clear of themselves all can help shape someone's opinion of you. So here's where we land. First impressions form fast. We're talking about fractions of a second in some cases. And they're built from three main things overall: what people see when they look at you, what they hear when you're talking, and how you present yourself through your body language when you're talking to them. You can't control everything, and you can't know the context or somebody's biases that they may have already had when you're speaking to them. But what you can do is you can make more intentional choices about the signals that you're sending. Because the reality is, first impressions don't just affect how people are seeing you in that moment, they give you the effect to change the opportunities that follow after that moment. The job you get called back for, the professor who decides to invest just a little bit more time in you, are just a few examples to help describe this. They start in the first few seconds before you've even had a chance to describe yourself and explain yourself to the person that you're talking to. They've already began to form their opinion on you. It takes seconds to form, and it takes much longer to undo those initial thoughts. So it's worth paying attention to. The world is full of people who will decide who you are before you get a chance to tell them. Your job is to give them something worth deciding on.